My name is Pretty Okafor of the Junior and Pretty fame. We're the pioneers of Afro hip hop that has transcended to Afro beats. And I'm currently the national president of the Performing Musicians Employers Association of Nigeria, PMAN.
Wow, that's a very huge, how would I put it, when it comes to
Portfolio.
Portfolio. I want to say responsibility. I grew up watching Junior play. Can you just briefly summarize how long your career as a duo spanned?
It's been long. We actually started in 1990, but our first song was dropped in 1992. 1991, going to 1992. Second album was done in 1994, and third album was done in 1997. So it was good. It was great. The first album, which is Monica, actually sold us around Nigeria as a whole. We were playing gigs around the country. But when we released Monica, which is the second album, when we released Bolanli, which is the second album, that's when we started experiencing playing concerts and touring around Africa. It was huge. People got excited. We were playing more of Ghana because there's a particular song in one of our albums that has to do with Ghanaian lover. So they loved it. It was like a passionate song for them. So they were always bringing us in to play gigs and all that. No, that was Ghanaian lover. There's a particular. No, Bolanle took us around Africa. We were playing gigs everywhere. But for Ghana, we were like repeating Ghana almost like in a month we should be in Ghana like twice. So there's a particular song, Ghanaian Lover. So they loved it. The rhythm was beautiful. It was more of our African thing, folklore, which everybody know pretty Junior and Pretty for. Then showing the dexterity in how we could mix and match the high life, the Afrobeat, the guitar, the lead guitar, the conga drums, the bass guitar, representing hip hop tune. So it was fun and pushed us more to play more gigs, which actually delivered why these young boys that started singing at the tender age of 15 suddenly started taking over Africa, the continent.
At that time, you were how old, sir?
15.
Your partner
Yeah, it was 5 years older than me.
Oh, wow.
So at the time I was 15, was already 20.
Wow. But you were like the same
height, yes. Not the same height, till when he passed, may he so rest in peace, I was taller.
Wow. And you were 15, he was 20, and you're taller than him then?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so how many albums were you able to achieve?
3 albums. We did 3. Excuse me. We did 3. One with Storm. Storm is owned by Olisa Adeboa, Nnamdi Nelly, and Obi Asika. They were the younger new flesh record label, record company then. But the major record companies were Premier Music, which is Polygram, and Sony Music and Ivory Music. But because our sound was new, because it was strange, so those older record labels didn't want to take risk with us until Storm came and they were excited and took a risk. Guess what? They took a risk with Monica and it was everywhere. It sold to the extent they were too young. They were also young. young boys, they couldn't manage the expectation, they couldn't manage the excitement, they couldn't manage the demand. So it was still them that brokered the deal. How the same premier music, Polygram, that rejected that brand of music years back had to sign us as their biggest act, and we had then a sign-on fee that was huge.
Okay, the last album you had in the 3 albums you released, what year was the last album released?
I said 1997.
1997. That's a very early career. And you said both of you pioneered the Afro sound.
The first one was 1991,
Okay.
which is Monica. But the last album, which is Fatima, was 1997.
And during those times, you were having shows and you were traveling.
Yes, we were the youngest act to play in a touring company. It was Golden Tones. I don't know if you heard of Golden Tones. Yeah, you should be too young there. Yeah, it was a tobacco company called Benson and Hedges Golden Tones. So we were the youngest act. I didn't actually play. They didn't allow us to play until when I turned, I think 20 or 19. But when we got assigned, I was like 18. They refused because we're big, we're huge, we're like them Whiskey and Burna Boy now. We're huge. They refused. We're very popular everywhere. You need to put us for your gig to work. But because of the British people, because of their laws, they waited. They waited until I turned 19 before they now started putting us on big concerts, and everything started looking like it's going to work. And then we were being paid in pounds. Yes, in Nigeria. It wasn't in dollars. We were being paid in pounds. It was huge. Like I said, I think it was just destiny. We started a brand of music that nobody believed it was going to work. Suddenly it started working. We started getting paid. We're the youngest in the history of Nigeria. We're the youngest act that ever released an album and it sold, and started playing gigs, started playing tour. So all those things that is happening now, that families are allowing young people to, it was from Junior and Pete that it started.
At what point did you saw those busy nature of your job fizzling down?
I never saw it fizzling down until we were on tour when Junior had a crash on his bike. So I'll say after Junior's death, may he so rest in peace, I discovered that I have much more responsibility that I used to think. Because I wasn't married, like I said, Junior was older than me with 5 years. And again, we're not going to marry, we're Igbo, so we don't marry that early. But he got married because we forced him to marry. He's a lone child. And why I'm the 7th child in my home. So we forced him to marry. But should I use the word lucky or unluckily? When Gina and I got married and he now passed, he has already had 3 kids. So my mentality and reasoning changed. More responsibility. So it's going to be me. It's going to be my family. When I say my family, my mother, my father, my brothers and sisters, it's going to be his. Then my mother now gave an advice. I said, I think you need to get married right now. Likewise, I said, because if you don't get married, because of the love you have for your friend, you will keep training his family and you forget that you're supposed to raise your own family. So that was why I got married and started bringing up children, like, so I could actually follow my mother's word to look after everybody. So that was the only time it went down. But I said musically, but there was It was deviation. We deviated from active performance and anchoring of the Benson and his golden tones, right? Because we're the younger, you were the youngest out then, and because we're like the adolescents, teenagers, right? They gave us a position to create some things that are going to be beneficial to the youth, promotions and all that. And it was at that time that while we're working on it, while we're going on a tour, we started learning a whole lot of production, management, business decisions, strategy, presentation, and we started going on courses. So I actually went on courses for stage and set design, sound engineering, light programming, so which actually built the empire that you're seeing now, the empire that moved PMAN to where it is. So I had to now build my own companies that became very, very big because of my drive and passion to get things done properly. And that was the only time that kept me behind the set.
Someone like me, the name PMAN is something I'm used to because I also started my young career in the entertainment scene. And the way I learned about PMAN, embraced PMAN then, a lot of controversies really surrounded the body. How can you, what is the difference between PMAN of yesterday and PMAN today?
PMAN of yesteryears, right, and PMAN of today. I think what changed was a focus, a discipline, a strategy, and persistency, which cumulated to integrity. Because in life, if you don't have integrity, you practically won't have anything to show for it. So why we could say PMAN of now is better than the PMAN of before? Because we try to eliminate greed, selfish interest. It was what ruined the PMAN of before. There were so much people with elements of greed. There were so much people with elements of selfish interest. They were not doing it for the industry itself. They were doing it for their personal aggrandizement. And we decided to change the structure, the destiny, the future of the music industry by taking it upon ourselves to make sure that we work regularly, sincerely to better the Nigerian music industry. We actually eliminated the idea of in-house fighting, brouhaha, tussle and all that. We actually try to bring everybody on board for us to work together. And we've been able to show that this set of people are moving forward and they are not here to play. And at the same time, we're not going to tolerate time wasters. So I believe they were busy going to court and all that because they were time wasters. They were busy fighting because they were time wasters. They were busy struggling about this money and all this property because they were time wasters. They were only sincerely dealing about themselves, not about the other people, not about the younger generation. So what the difference between us and them is that we are working for the younger generation to have a structure, a better welfare, and a better playing field to be in the international music market.
Okay. Now, sir, with the vision you have to drive this ship right now, if you want to summarize what it took for you and your new set of skills to take PMAN from what it used to be to where it is today, how would you summarize?
Integrity. Okay. Integrity. We brought in integrity. that's basically what changed. We sincerely wanted to leave a legacy. We sincerely wanted to be able to be comfortable when we're old, to say this is what we contributed, this is what we did when we're in position of the union. We wanted to be able to tell our children, because I keep saying it, my children plays music. My daughter plays violin and sings. My son plays keyboard and he sings. My second son, which is my third child, is a vocalist. He sings. Perfectionist when it comes to vocal cord note. But since they've already discovered that their father was a PMAN, or is a PMAN president, and when they end up being a musician, what would they say about us, about me? So this is not only about me, this is about Soninegi. His kids are also musicians. This is about Zaki. His kids are also musicians. So it was the reason why we said to ourselves, we cannot fail. We cannot disappoint the younger generation. What you saw today, what everybody's been talking about, is not by magic. It was by dedication, by hard work, by focus, and by integrity. That's why we're able to have the edifice that you're looking at today. That's why we're able to have the younger people coming to PMAN. That's why we brought the PMAN head office to where the music industry resides, on the island. It used to be on the mainland. So is because we wanted to prove a point that any organization can work, but you need to have good heads. So at the same time, I keep telling people, Nigeria can work. Nigeria can actually be the biggest and the most beautiful country in the world when we have good heads to put it together, because we are all gifted, or should I say we're loaded with the natural resources on planet Earth. In fact, the resources we have here in our country are some of the most expensive mineral resources and metal. So I don't see any reason why we cannot be the biggest and the richest country in the world. So what has been holding us back since has been bad leaders and greedy and selfish people. So with a sample of what we did with PMAN, that shows that the country can work. You just need to get good head to manage an organization, and it is. They haven't had an edifice, a house of their own, a property of their own for the past 40 years, but they will not have. People can register and have medical insurance. People can register and have life insurance, and both for permanent disabilities and death, they have insurance. People can have pension plan. Nobody knew that it can work in Nigeria before. People can have a pension plan. Musicians can actually go into the site and distribute their songs to over 200 digital stores once you're a registered PMAN member. And right now we're floating radio stations both in Lagos and in Abuja that are only specific to play. They are only specific to play music of PMAN members. So, and it's already on Google Play Store, so you can listen to PMAN FM anywhere around the world, and you're listening to the best of Afrobeats, the best of High Life, the best of Juju, and we're so gifted until we understand that God gave us a whole lot that we can deal with. We will know that we're a blessed nation. So, example with PMAN is suddenly the dead PMAN, right? The brouhaha PMAN, the bad perception PMAN is talk of the town. Is what everybody wants to associate with. So that means once you get good people, anything can work. So that's what happened to PMAN, and that can also happen to our country.
Those who really do not have a sense of understanding, especially musicians and artists, the younger ones in Nigeria today, what is PMAN?
PMAN has registered is called the Performing Musicians Employers Association of Nigeria. PMAN is registered as a trade union for the creative industry. PMAN is the only registered trade union for the entertainment industry, the creative industry. So what it means is every other association takes its power, generates its power from PMAN. So that's why PMAN is strong. PMAN is the only association which is a trade union that can give notary notes to musicians and they will get work permit in any country around the world because the embassies and their immigration lawyers and departments recognizes that. It's only PMAN that can give that kind of note and that kind of cover letter to do that.
Wow. So, for someone as a performing act in Nigeria, there are a whole lot of leverage they can actually have access to registering as a member of PMAN.
Yeah.
Which is what you are saying essentially.
PMAN gives them the ability to be able to collect their royalties. Now, most of our performing artists only know about their master royalties, which is just a singular aspect of all the other royalties. The other royalties, I call them, they are all called residual income.
Okay.
So your residual income has to do with not your master royalty. Your master royalty is your normal royalty, right? Your sales royalty, that is your master royalty. But your residual royalty is your mechanical rights royalty, your performance right royalty, your digital rights royalty, your needle time rights royalty, which we call it your neighboring rights royalty. So that's what we're doing, like what we're building the Geopolitical Zone Academy. We're trying to educate people. We're trying to educate musicians. That's why we started building focus of not just having a beautiful place in Lagos, not just having a beautiful place in Abuja. We're trying to create it in the 6 geopolitical zones where musicians can work in and do courses for rudiment of music, do courses for the business of music. It's not enough to be a musician, write songs and all that. You need to also learn how to be how to calculate the naira and kobo, how to be of the industry. So these are all what we're trying to do, which is our next step. Getting all this, we've done in 2 geopolitical zones, so we're trying to plant it in the remaining 4. I think by the time we're done that, I should have done with the industry. I've done my own quarter, and I should leave. So this is what we're trying to do. We're leaving a legacy where the younger people will come. There's a structure, and they will take through it. We built the edifice to an international standard. I don't know if you have a chance to be in the American Music Union or in Europe Music Union. This is what they have, and we try to replicate that and even supersede them in doing, because we are the biggest when it comes to music in Africa, and practically our genre of music is practically taking over the globe.
To set a good foundation so that subsequently others, especially those who will be taking off from you or putting themselves in your shoes, should be able to live up to expectation. Now, looking at how PMAN has come a long way and how people of integrity played key role in where you are today, have you put anything in place to ensure that subsequently, if a time should come where you have to leave your portfolio, those who will pick up that portfolio has that integrity to keep the standard you are setting to?
Thank you. That's one important question, but I'll just give you a little bit of ground. it would be very, very stupid of me to leave the union the same way I met it coming when it comes. I mean, structurally. But right now, people are dealing with a trust. We're living PMAN in a trust. So one person cannot just wake up and sell property. We're having a radio station. We have a radio station here. We have a radio station in Abuja. There's too much of investment for us to take chances. So we've already built a trust. So every property, every ownership and all that goes into the trust. Now the management, even when I leave, I know the people I'm leaving behind are going to manage it well because it's already a structure that we're working with. They've been with me for some time, so they know how it works. And at top of my head, I can tell you those that can even sell anything if you leave it for them. So we're not going to be that stupid to allow what happened last time to happen again. That's why I said everybody, including the president that is going to be answerable to the trust. So the trust, I didn't want to say this, so the trust decides what you do at a particular time with funds, what you do at a particular time with properties, and the funds approve all their whatever income that is going to them. So nobody has monopoly of power and authority to do anything that will harm the union.
When we had this interview the last time with you, you really shed light on how the Afro genre of music has really broke even, especially in the international scene. For a body like PMAN, I believe it is not a secret that you know that reggae is still there. Even to Ajegule, those Ajegule kind of music is still there. Those people, they still do what they need to do. Wouldn't it be a good idea for a body like PMAN that encompasses all performing acts to create communities for different genres of music in Nigeria in order to make them relevant, even though we know Afro is up there? You know, it is also important to give other genres their flowers. So my question to you is, are there plans for you to also ensure that artists who are also into different genres of music have a community that will also give them a sense of belonging?
Yeah, they have a community. We have a couple of associations for Fuman, for Fuji, for Juman, for Juju, Goman, for Gospel. There's a whole lot. For those ones are subset associations. So and the whole of them are working. They are all PMAN members. So it's already we have reggae society and all that of Nigeria. So it happened. But what we're promoting and what we've been able to work for years is that we have a brand of music that is being identified by us, for us, and only for Africans, which is what has turned Lagos State and Nigeria to make a global destination for music industry in the world. So people are coming in, but it does not necessarily mean we're playing down on other genres, right? Other genres are going to remember those genres have been there before Afro hip hop that transcended to Afro beats. So they are still need to, or should I use the word, they still need to keep working, generating content, building and improving, because if we had told them at the time, started telling people that Afro hip hop is going to take over the globe, we're going to outsell reggae. I'm sure a whole lot of people thought we were crazy at that time, but you see what is happening today. We've outsold reggae, and that's basically that's why I'm excited as a human being, because like I said, nothing happened by mistake. It was predestined. It was structured. We worked towards it, and it happened. So people also should pick interest and know that music is evolving. So they also need to put up their best and see their genre comes to the global notice.
So those artists that are not getting acquainted with what PMAN is all about, how can they become register members? What are the mediums?
It's very easy. Formally, they will tell them go to PMAN office, hold this certain amount of money and all that. So we eliminated all that. Why we have a whole lot of people registered now on the PMAN is because we went digital. So you can actually register with your phone, via your PC, or anywhere. Go to business center and go to PMAN website, www.pman.ng. Once you stroll in, you will see register for your biometric card there, and you click it. It takes you to the page, to the form. You put all your details, and click send, and the send will take you to inputting your ATM detail for your payment. So it's been backed by PayStack, so it's easy. Your details doesn't stay in the system. So you pay your 6,000, and notification comes to you. Notification comes to you, gives you a code also where you can also log into the community, PMAN community site, where we interact, we communicate, and also gives you an opportunity to where you can also distribute your song to over 250 digital stores around the world. That's to go distro. So these are all what we've been doing. It also gives you advantage of registering also to collect your royalties via MCSN. So this is just direct, straightforward, nothing to bother about. You don't have to come out of your house or out of your car to do it or to register.
I met with a colleague of mine who is also into the media sector, and an old timer who is also aware about PMAN. So he saw the section I had, which was like, oh, this is the new president of PMAN. I was like, yeah, and I was like, wow, what is going on? Because the PMAN I know and all that. So he talked about, he brought Kuson into the discussion. So I was asking him, and he said that the present head of Kuson used to be the head of PMAN. Should I say head or founding member of PMAN? And along the line, there was some friction based on the leadership and vision and drive to really scale PMAN to greater heights. And it became a tussle, a power tussle that Mr. Koroje, who is now the head of Koson, left PMAN and founded Koson. And he said Koson is doing better today than PMAN because he wanted that vision to be with PMAN and drive it, but he was facing some forces. So I was like, well, I don't know because I'm not really, I know about PMAN, I know about Koson, but I really don't know the backstories. So I said I'm going to pop this question to you so you can shed light and actually demarcate, let us know what PMAN stands for in Nigeria and also what Koson stands for.
Okay, so first is to understand and put it on the table. Tony Okoroji wasn't a founding member of PMAN. He was one time elected as PMAN president, so he's a past PMAN president. Yes, your friend might be right. The crisis in PMAN started from him, started from Tony Okoroji. And I really don't know how they went about it. But now to differentiate, a whole lot of people are mixing it up. PMAN is a trade union, right? PMAN is a trade union for the musicians, right? Koson, which was because when me and Gino were in Polygram, Premier Music, because there's a collective society that was collecting for us. That was where Koson emanated from.
Collecting what?
Collective society. Collective society. They collect royalties for musicians. So I'll break it down. They call them CMO. They collect royalties for musicians. That's what is a collective society, not music association or music society. It's a collective society. So they are not a two. So what it means is Koson works for PMAN members. Koson collects for PMAN members. But that was when, then. Now, the same crisis that they created when they were in PMAN is the same crisis they created now that they're in Koson. Accountability was what caused the problem PMAN, then that same accountability that caused problem in COSON. So what it means is that this set of people that were leading PMAN then and are now leading COSON cannot be accountable. They could not put their documentation and their papers together. You know, I was also speaking about integrity and greed. So it was what ruined PMAN then, and it's also what destroyed COSON. I'm sure you're not aware. COSON license has been retrieved. COSON doesn't have a license. They don't have a license to operate. They don't have a license to collect. They don't have a license to distribute. So right now, as in the musical structure, COSON is non-existent. So the only collective society now is MCSN. So MCSN, which has been in existence before COSON anyway, but with long leg and all that, they try to put that one down and try to promote COSON, but suddenly life has its turn. They found their way back, and they are the only ones that has a right to collect because of the support of PMAN. Now, why we had to support MCSN was transparency. COSON, why are you people fighting? Can we have a detail of how you collected money and who you paid and what you're spending the money for? And somebody believed that he's mini God, that we can be accountable to us. I'm a small, they normally call me a small boy. And if you check the old videos, that's why I started leaving my white hairs. Before they would think I'm one baby or one tata. So that's actually what has transpired. That is where we are with the stand of things. And in the relevancy of music industry, COSON is no more relevant. Is MCSN. And COSON or even MCSN are not in competition with PMAN. PMAN is the trade union. So what in our constitution is we can collect our royalties ourselves, or we sublet it to collective societies to collect. So that's what COSON was doing for PMAN, and that's what MCSN is doing for PMAN.
So what is MCSN?
MCSN, I think, is the Musical Society of Nigeria.
Okay. Just for artists and viewers to understand. Okay, so wow, what a story and what a line of events that has happened. And just imagine, not asking this question, we wouldn't even understand some of the backstory.
MCSN, Musical Copyright Society of Nigeria, yes. MCSN.
Musical Copyright Society
of Nigeria.
Okay, so basically that was the job of COSON, to collect those royalties. And in a nutshell, whatever their function is actually under the umbrella of PMAN.
Yes.
Okay, I guess that is clear enough.
You know, because they know that PMAN had this power. After the created crisis in PMAN, they decided to disintegrate PMAN so that they can grow COSON, use the template of PMAN to grow COSON and all that. But I keep telling people, don't throw stone. You don't know you don't know if it's going to come back to you, or you don't know if it's going to hit. So it's the same stone that he threw that is backfiring on them. I wasn't there when they did that, and I wasn't there when they even fought in COSON. But the only thing that I know is that they were not transparent, they were not sincere, they were too shady, they were fraudulent. So the license had to be removed from them. Yes, with the support of PMAN, yes, the license was removed from them. And as far as we are around, they are not going to have a license. They might, maybe after my tenure, they might have a license, but right now, they can't have a license because I'll defend it, I'll follow it up to wherever it's going to take.
PMAN will be 41 years.
Yes.
It has been a bumpy ride. Going forward, at least believing with a leadership approach that you are putting in place today, what do you see ahead of PMAN in terms of coming back to really take the industry by force?
You know, the most intelligent thing about what PMAN has evolved to is accepting and working with the younger generation. Now we have the A-listers, the B-listers, the C-listers associating with the same PMAN that their fathers, do you understand? Their fathers knew about. And it's exciting because PMAN is flying on a digitalized age. Now, PMAN is introducing algorithm where musicians can promote themselves, can go on a touring themselves, can distribute their song, and can associate and collaborate with their international counterparts. So that's where PMAN is going. In the next few years, PMAN will be the strongest body in Africa when it comes to music and music industry. That's where we're going to.
I actually wanted to interject. Another challenge I've seen over time in terms of artists is their publishing. You hear a lot of artists, that have spent 20 years and they don't have rights to their publishing because of one company or the other that they worked with during the early parts of their career. So for PMAN as a body, is there a plan to make sure that artists see that they are fully protected in terms of their work, their masters, and everything they were able to bring out during the course of their career?
Yes, where some of them were already in court with some because some blindly signed perpetual contract. I think me and Gino signed part of that contract that the record label owns our right. I don't know if it's for 20 years or was 15 years or so, but we've outstayed it. So the right, that's international law. After 10 years or 15 years or so, the right goes back to the artist, right? So there's international law, there's no Nigerian law legally. So whatever the record labels or record companies are doing or trying to do is illegal, and PMAN stands at a good part to fight them and get back the publishing rights of musicians. Let me tell you the standard way for the publishing rights. 100% is only if the writer and the performer, if the writer is the performer, if the composer is the performer. But if the composer is a songwriter and there's a performer, they split 50-50. Yeah. So formally people don't even know about this. But because I said we do a whole lot of research, we intercommunicate with other CMOs, other trade unions, other music unions. That's when we discover that writers and composers, right, are supposed to be as rich as the performers. When I say the performers, the musicians. So these are the songwriters. They are not supposed to get less. What they get is 50% of whatever the performer is getting for that particular song. So if there's a royalty of 1 billion to be shared, this one gets 500, this one gets 500. And with that, you find out that the music industry will be nice. You have a whole lot of people working in that part. And it can encourage more musicians and more people to participate in the entrepreneurship of music. But right now we're already sending it out. The education is there. We're also making people understand what a split shift means in contractual music. Contractual is the copyright issues. So if you're producing, you're writing, you are performing, you are contributing, you should be able to get a percentage in the split shift. Because the truth is, music is like air. You don't know when it's going to outshine you. outlive you and generate massive income. So you need to be part of it. So when it starts going rosy, you're part of your intellectual property is covered and you'll be paid for your brainchild.
Very well, sir. Okay, as we let you go, your message to every artist that's watching this very interview session, as the president of PMAN, what would your message to all artists?
Don't ever allow anybody, any figure, any element on planet Earth discourage you. Music is what I did. Music is why I'm rich. Music is why I'm like this. Music is why I'm relevant. So you need to keep pushing, keep driving, be focused, be persistent, consistent, and you get there.
Thank you very much, sir, for giving us another access to have this session with you. And we want to wish your leadership, this current PMAN, more successful push ahead. And we are also looking forward to hearing more in terms of feats from this very side of things, because I think it's been a long time coming, and the Nigerian entertainment industry deserves to get this acknowledgement. So we're looking forward to hearing more from you in the near future and more accomplishments ahead.
Thank you. Anytime. Like I said, I run an open office. So you just call me and come around and we'll talk about it. We have more coming out. We have loads of goodies for music industry and creative industry. So just keep your ear glued.
If there's one thing you said, sir, during the beginning of this interview session, is that Nigeria can actually become number one in the world. And that takes a lot of thinking, takes a lot of research, takes a lot of understanding and experience. It doesn't take someone to just dabble into the industry. You can become successful, but understand the nitty-gritty.
Sustainability.
So, in parting, what would be your message? Even before we ask this parting message, how long will your tenure take? Because we really want to see how far.
Okay, so what I'm actually done is the tenure for the court judgment. So I can actually do my first tenure, which is via election. I cannot do my second tenure. I can do my third tenure. But because I've been here and fought tooth and nail to retrieve the union from the cabal, so I might want to move on so that my other people, I've been training a whole lot of people. You've seen them, see my escorts, so that they can take over. That's where we are still battling with that, but whether I'm here or not, the structure has been laid, so the next person is going to do better. So that's basically what I'm trying to also say, and that's how Nigeria should be working. If we can pick up PMAN from nowhere, they sold their properties, they scattered, they were not, and got it, and they are living in over 1 billion property. They are buying equipment for two states. It's going to like over 500, half a billion. So, and they're building geopolitical zone structures, which is where we're trying to plan this same thing we have here in 4 geopolitical zones. What it keep telling me, and even telling you, is any organization can work. It's only when you have people with focus, vision, and drive. On top, integrity. That is the only thing we've never had. When you see organizations going down because they lack integrity, they lack sincerity, and takeaway for musicians is reintegrate yourself, reinvent yourself, learn more regularly, and that's why we're giving opportunity to, we're taking the schools to the geopolitical zone. So it won't be difficult for musicians coming from Aba or musicians coming from Medigri to go to Abuja or come to Lagos. So you could have it close to them. See geopolitical zone, you could go to attend the one close to your zone.
When your mom told you at that point that you don't need to drain yourself, because of your concerns to the well-being of it, you have to start. As in, before you go to that point, like, you guys were still going actively for shows when you got the accident?
Yes, we're still going actively for shows. In fact, we're the regional promotional anchor for B&H. We were the producers of the show. So we're producing the tour in Nigeria and whole of Africa. I remember one time we took a couple of people to West Indies for the concert, the Benson Hedges Golden Tone. So we grew from being performers to anchors, then to producers of the show, to the extent that a whole lot of people resigned, and I was promoted to So we were very, very active, and we were also involved in signing artists for the concerts, bringing artists for the concerts. We were in charge of producing the concerts, all the negotiation and all that. So it was good. So it was one of those process that crashed. In fact, the show that is one of the shows we're having. It was Benson and Hedges mentor in Akodo Beach Resort down. So you see, we have an office on Lekki, so we've been on this axis for a very long time. Akodo Beach Resort. The first time we brought Lagbaja and Femi Kuti to one stage. The first time. So we engineered that, and it happened. It was Benson Hedges' mentor launch, and it was that process that crashed. So we were active, but when it crashed, I was still going around because I need to make sure the family okay. I was still producing the show. So the job of two people, I was doing it alone. It was a whole lot of pressure, but I was doing it. But I think it was when he now passed. I think when he passed, it had to do with my. I'm very, very emotional, so it had to do with my emotion, it had to do with my sensitivity and all that. So I just got fed up of the job, and I wasn't happy anymore doing the job. I just resigned.
Is it that he also stayed for some time, but he was not in capacity to?
Yes, he stayed there. He got a broken leg, so we did everything. He had a couple of surgeries and had metal imputed in his leg, his bone. But along the line, doing one, removing one, I think gangrene, and I was on the road when it happened. So gangrene. So I think all that, I just got tired. See, I'm done. I don't want to do this stuff again. So even the white guys didn't know what I just said. No. I just want to do something. You know, when you're not happy about something, like I just want to do something for myself. I just want to do. Now it's based on what my advice of my mother. So I was now paying attention to everything. I became too sensitive in every area of our lives and decided to get it right.
So how have you been able to keep your partner's legacy for all these years, all this while?
Well, when you asked me to introduce myself, well, a whole lot of people didn't know we're the pioneers of Afrobeat.
Yes.
But I'm still alive. I'm pushing it. So I'll say, I introduce myself as Pretty of the Junior Pretty Fame, the pioneers of Afro hip hop that transcended to Afrobeat. Keeping the dream alive, making everybody understand that, if I wasn't around, some other people would have stolen that they are the pioneer of Afro hip hop, they are the pioneers of Afrobeat. But because I'm around, I'm the history. It was in my house that we changed from hardcore to pidgin rap, and giving our brand of music a name, Afro hip hop. But the same Afro hip hop that they removed the pop, they removed the hip hop and art beats and like less Nigerianize is our own. Why are we putting hip hop in there? So that became Afro beats, and this is the same brand of music that was created by Junior Pretty has taken over the world. So everybody in the history, if you search my profile, you read about Junior. some people go searching, okay, is past. But why is he always talking about it? We're always talking about it because it was a dual thing. We're talking about it because we pioneered, we made sure that this our brand of music will take over reggae. Because at that time, dancehall wasn't out. It was reggae, raga. So raga is where they turned to dancehall. But we achieved that. We've achieved that. I remember when we were discussing with some journalists earlier on, 1992, 93, they were laughing at us like, what I did, these boys, they get tall dream. You want people to know this your Ajegule music, everybody to be listening to your brand of music. But hey, everybody's listening to that brand of music right now. And that keeps Junior's name coming in between. And it's going to live as long as Afrobeat lives.
Okay, sir. Before we let you go, sir, the industry, just like what you said, your era, when you started this whole the Afrobeat, and today, a lot of things has changed. What do you have to say about the industry today?
But can I tell you something that might shock some people? Do you know that we haven't actually gotten there? We haven't actually gotten there. Yes, we're big. We're everywhere. Everybody's listening to us. At the time me and Juno started, it was just 5% of Nigerian music that was being played on our radio stations. Me and Juno fought for it to be moved to 15%. I think before Juno died, it was like 30% or 40%. But right now, they play 100% of our Nigerian music. We started that campaign then. Around the world, they were not playing our brand of music. But right now, they play 75-80% of our brand of music, right? In everywhere you go. Like this summer, any club, any beach, any destination you go to, pub, they're playing Nigerian music. The Chinese are studying our music. The Russians are studying our music. The Indians are studying. They have a whole institution studying our brand of music. It wasn't done. And some people like, you guys have arrived, Nigerian music. No. Until Nigeria becomes a mecca for music industry in the world, Lagos becomes a mecca where you come, like Afrobeat destination of the world becomes Lagos. That's when we're going to arrive. Like how people go to Jamaica because of reggae. People are coming to Nigeria because of Afrobeat.
Just like people are going to Chicago now for dream music, or is that what you're trying to say?
Yes. So
New York for hip-hop.
Yes. So people are going to be coming to Africa, coming to Lagos for Afrobeats. They're already coming. We had a couple of visitors last week. It was for that. People are coming. And it's the more reason why we created our headquarters, the Nigerian Music House, to represent the international standard corporate office that could accept and accommodate visitors coming from around the world. We haven't started, I keep saying it. We're just scratching the surface with our brand of music.
Okay. As we let you go, when you say people, I'm beginning to Fela. They also talk about Fela as the Afrobeat.
Okay, so I will break down so that you guys don't get confused. Okay. Fela is Afrobeat without the S. Our brand of music is called Afrobeats with the S. So it was a confusion. If you don't pay attention, you will get confused. So Fela brand of music is called Afrobeat. But the new genre brand of music is called Afrobeats. Now with the S, because they want it to be a Nigerian thing. They want it to be an African thing. It was Afro hip hop, but they preferred Afrobeats. It was a whole lot, and it was. I was still insisting then, no, let it be Afro hip hop. But the DJs that were playing it had their own massive following, and they were not differentiating it with the S. If you know, Fela's own is Afrobeat without S. So this genre of music is Afrobeats. So in compassion or in togetherness or bringing together accumulative,
maybe the soul or the hip hop or
the Afro pop, Afro soul, and all that together. That's what giving us the brand of music that we have.
And it started from your era.
It started. If you say started, like some other person engineered it, no, we pioneered it. We created it.
Okay, the Afro beats.
Yeah, it didn't start. We created it. We pioneered it. Luckily, I'm still alive. It was in my house that we started creating it, and a whole lot of people didn't like it. A whole lot of them are still alive. Like somebody like Jimmy. Jimmy's alive when how we started creating Afro hip hop. Jimmy, Jimmy John. Yeah, yes. A whole lot of them are still alive. What I've learned in life is that everybody can ghost you on something, but they can't ghost you on what you created because they weren't there. Everybody could be lying. They want to do this. They were only partakers, but it started with Junior Pretty.
Thank you very much, sir, for really giving us a download of, in fact, giving us clarity and sharing your experience over time in terms of your time in the industry and what we have today. And we're looking forward to come back next time to continue in terms of looking at you as the current president of PMAN in Nigeria today. So thank you very much for giving us this access.
Anytime, man.